Perspectives, a series dedicated to one-sided sagas. These stories might come from us or our most valued guests. Please enjoy.
A long time ago, in our early teenage years, myself and the co-hosts of Squabble, Carter and Jacob, lived happy lives. We didn't work too hard or too little, and everything was just right. It was the first Friday, and we'd finished our work for the day. So where did we go? Well, we went where we always went, the Station Cafe. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, either by visiting their location or hearing that they've recently moved. Some nights, I fear I'm the reason they eventually had to move. Never mind that. For those of you who aren't familiar with the station, it's a warm environment with delicious steak burgers and free ice cream. Yes, you heard right. Free ice cream. Delivered to children for free with either a nice scoop of vanilla or chocolate and sugar cone included. But it's no longer this way. Anyway, the station was also known by us for its happy staff, but one member of the staff was especially happy. Was he the manager? Maybe even the owner? No one really knew, and no one really cared. He was a kind-hearted man, or so I thought, who genuinely wanted to know how the food was, how the customers were doing, and the scariest part of all, if the children wanted ice cream. You might be thinking, what's so scary about ice cream? But it's not the ice cream that instilled the fear I feel to this day, but the man behind the ice cream, the brain behind it all. I soon learned what pure rage and fury could look like. The experience still keeps me up at night. I repeatedly play through the scenario in my head, over and over again. His eyes, it was all too real. I hadn't even realized what I'd said. Where was I? All right, an afternoon lunch. On this particular day, we were consuming burgers the size of our faces, like one does at the station. We were station regulars. We always got the same meal, drinks, and we knew a few members of the staff. After consuming our burgers, once our stomachs were full of delectable cow meat and too many fries, we could still find the room in our hearts, and stomachs I suppose, for ice cream, as any true American can. And so, the horror begins. The man, or the devil himself, strolled past our table, then did a double take before stopping. He turned back around and walked right up to us. He asked the daring question, would any of you like some ice cream? I'm sure you already know the answer. We all said yes. He first asked Jacob, who piped up with one of the previously mentioned 2 flavors offered when one wants to consume free ice cream, and then asked Carter, who quickly answered. And then it was me. It was all me. I don't know if it was because I simply felt entitled. I felt as though I'd worked hard that day and deserved it, or if it was simply a desire I had inside of me. But after answering the man's question with vanilla, I made my second request. Was it bold, greedy, pathetic, acceptable? No one can say, and neither can you, because you weren't there. Out of my mouth came the words, a request for fudge. I was a child who had needs, and vanilla alone could not satisfy me. I needed something more, something saucy, something fudgy. And so, I asked. And that's where it all ended. His eyes crept into my soul. I witnessed the end of the earth in an all-consuming fire that one day will take us all. It was just like when Frodo would put on the ring and see the Eye of Sauron, except there was no ring. It was just the 2 of us, all alone. We had transported from the world into the next dimension, then back, and back once more, where it was only him and I. Except my heart could not cross as my fate was sealed. The hope to die would have been a simple joke. He was not my lover, and I'd never lie. And in the end, it was truly him and I. He uttered no words because he didn't need to. His beliefs, morals, and attitude forever changed. He simply walked away. And the three of us sat around and simply looked at one another. The fear was sinking in. It was no joke then, but to some it still is. But I know. He shortly returned, but there were no cones and no decent amount of ice cream. This man, he lived a new life now, and that life would not have cones or happy children. My request for the fudge turned what was once a cone into a cup, a small cup, like Frozone drinks in First Incredibles, but even smaller. Imagine a communion shot glass. Oh, and the contents of the cup? A dollop, a sole, singular, small dollop of ice cream. And he walked away, once again, with no words spoken. And from that moment on, it became the norm. I had ruined it for everyone. But I don't know if I was the only cause. More children before me inquired for the same fudgy delight, and I was simply the last straw, the final piece in destroying his love of both child and customer, and most likely ice cream? It's no matter now. The way I see it, I truly ruined ice cream for every child to set foot in that cafe. The damage I've done is too much, and there is no going back. And the rest? Well, as they say, the rest was history.
That concludes this episode of Perspectives. Don't forget to follow, like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. If you want more Squabble to continue forever, check us out on Patreon, link in the description below. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will snap you later.